David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Toronto. And folks, you might have heard that Pearson International Airport in Toronto, it was ranked as the worst airport in the world, and I'm including third world nations in that list. And typically it's about delayed and canceled flights, it's about impossibly long lineups, it's about broken infrastructure. And I'd like to introduce you to Renana Reuveni. She is from Israel, and last week Renana flew in from London to Toronto via an Air Canada flight, and you are not going to believe what she had to endure going through customs. So Renana, you're on this Air Canada flight, and you were with your beautiful young daughter Angelica, and you deplane, and then what happens?
I came in to the check-in desk. There was a lady in the front that asked me a few questions, and I showed her a few documents, and then she gave me a slip note and told me to go on. So I went in, and there was another clerk who said, show me your slip note, and then he directed me to a different line where people were standing. Most of them were with children. And I didn't know why we were standing in that line, and that line was just a line with nobody on the front, so we just waited. We didn't know what we were waiting for, and until after half an hour that I went to ask somebody, why am I waiting here? He says, oh, that's because you have to go and talk to another immigration counselor inside. So I went back, and my baby started crying because she cannot sit and wait that long. She's a very little baby, and she needed, after all these exhausting long hours of the flight, she needed to have a proper meal and changing and toys, and all of my luggage was not even close to me. So I didn't have any food or anything that I can treat her with. And so I went back again to ask the clerk to say that my baby is hungry and she needed to be fed, and I need my luggage. So they told me, all right, so you can have the passports, give me your passports, I'm gonna save it, and you can go downstairs and just bring the food for the baby from the luggage, and you have to come back. That was after 1 hour and a half of waiting. So
it's 90 minutes so far.
Yes.
And Renana, is anyone, say from Canadian Border Service Agency, are they asking you questions?
Nobody approached to that line. Okay. Nobody was even standing on the front of the line with the people.
I can only imagine you're on a transatlantic flight, you're probably exhausted, your baby is hungry, needs changing, and was anybody sympathetic to your situation?
Not really. They just told me afterwards to just go ahead back in line and wait. Just wait.
Yeah.
I haven't been inside the hall yet.
Okay.
This is just in the front. So I said to the guy that was leading all the people inside the hall that I'm just with the baby and I cannot wait any longer, and he lets people passes me even though I was way in front of them. So he says, is it just you and the baby? I said, yeah, so why do we have to stand in that line? So he asked me, what kind of passport do you have? I said, Israeli passport. Oh, he says, oh, so that's why you have to go inside, right?
But you're not here for any kind of emergency relief. You're just here as a tourist. You said to me off air, yeah, you've always wanted to see Toronto. Yeah. So far, not so good, I take it. But as you were telling me off camera, Renana, the agent was very rude and belligerent to you and was asking you all kinds of irrelevant questions. Can you elaborate on that, please?
After I went inside and waited with the baby on my hands like this, yeah. So I approached the next clerk, yeah, and he said, all right, show me your documents. And I showed him the documents, and I showed him in my phone, even though I couldn't see what he was looking at because I was holding the baby and was very busy with her. and he had my phone. I couldn't see if he was looking inside my phone in other stuff that he shouldn't, you know. And so I said, you know, sir, we've been here 3 hours waiting, and I at least need to change my baby, and she needs proper food. And I was very delicate and very subtle, and he just got very angry and yelled at me and said, "Lady, you are here in a foreign country, and we're not done until I say we're done, all right?" That's what he said, and then he said, "All right, you can go sit on the side."
Also, they went through your suitcase in a brutal fashion as well.
After I said that I want to go change the baby, so I went out, and when I came back, he was waiting for me with 2 document papers. So he knew, that clerk knew that his decision to make me stay only for 2 weeks already had been decided. But instead of letting me go, me and the baby, just like that, in this situation, you can see as the baby, she's very irritated. So he didn't let me go. He just escorted me way down and took my luggage. We took all the luggage, and I thought that we were going through the exit because I was in the same direction. But unfortunately, it was a very, very, very not nice surprise. They take me for a sided room, which there I had to stand. And meanwhile, I asked them if I can sit aside with the baby. Well, they were looking through all my luggage, and they said, "No, you cannot go sit aside on the chairs. No, you have to stand here and talk to us and answer the questions." While I was held in my baby like this, because she was not very calm, as you can see. She was not sleeping.
This is surreal to me, Renana. I mean, let's be clear. You don't have a criminal record,
No.
do you? Okay. And you're a young mother with an infant daughter.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're going through the type of screening that they would give to a suspected terrorist. At the end of this 5-hour interrogation, this agent says to you, if you're not back on a plane in 2 weeks, what's going to happen?
After he showed me the document that says that I have only 2 weeks here for stay and that I must come back to declare to the immigration on my flight back that I'm leaving. Otherwise, he said, they come and arrest you, because he asked for my address and he asked for email address, and that's what he said to me. And with no probable cause, he just decided that I'm gonna stay here for 2 weeks, even though my apartment is rented for 1 month.
You know, I'm baffled to hear this story. It's almost unbelievable. You know, we did reach out to CBSA. They did issue a statement. Here's what they had to say. The CBSA's role is to assess the security risk and admissibility of persons coming to Canada. All persons seeking entry to Canada must present to the CBSA and may be subject to a more in-depth exam. Admissibility of travelers is decided on a case-by-case basis and based on the information made available at the time of entry. Upon arrival at a Canadian port of entry, travelers must demonstrate to a CBSA officer that they meet the requirements for entry into Canada. Officers are trained in interview, examination, and investigative techniques. They use proven indicators, advanced information, intelligence, innovative technology, and information sharing to carry out their mandate. So really, a nothing statement, you know, privacy, confidentiality, et cetera, I hope, Renana, that now that this is receiving media attention, CBSA is investigating this guard and saying, what were you thinking? Why did you submit this law-abiding tourist to such a hellacious shakedown? Renana, one last question. Your husband is a lawyer, of course. Are you thinking of launching a lawsuit, given the way in which you were treated?
Of course. Of course. I feel that this was discrimination. Absolutely.
We're going to keep on this story and find out if Renana can get some justice for the brutal way in which she was treated by those border agents at Pearson International Airport. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, we know you count on Rebel News to tell you the other side of the story, and for that matter, the stories that the mainstream media has no interest in reporting. But you know, unlike the mainstream media, we don't get a nickel's worth of funding from the Justin Trudeau Liberals, nor would we accept it if offered. That's why we depend on you. Please, if you can, go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com, and kindly contribute whatever you're able to so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.